Hello YouTube, my name is rhianaB and welcome back to another review of Survivor Game Changers. I want to start off by saying I'm sorry that this video is out late. I've been really busy with school and also I'm recording for Outlast 2 and that's been taking up a lot of time. So I'm sorry that this is late. I'm here right now, so let's get to it. So as we found out from last Tribal Council, Sarah flipped on the majority alliance, which kind of focused on Sierra and Brad's main alliance, which had Ty, which had Debbie. But the thing is, Sarah right now, she's kind of playing double agent. She is playing with both Suri, Andrea, and the majority alliance, as well as wanting to work with Zeke. So I think right now Sarah is in a really good place right now. She does need to be a little bit careful, not step on any eggshells, but I think right now if she plays her cards right, she'll do really well in this double agent stage. So one of the big things that happened in this episode was during the reward challenge. We had Suri had a really personal moment, a very, I would say touching moment, but I'm going to get to my opinion of that here in a second. But she was really lacking in the challenge. She couldn't get up onto one of the floating platforms, and then Sarah, who was on her team in this challenge, she goes back and she helps Suri and helps her up, and everyone is applauding for Suri, saying, you know, you can do it, and she ends up finishing the challenge after the other team had already won. The whole thing with that situation, I understand that it's a very personal moment for Suri and those who were there at the time. For television though, I don't understand why it was there. It's I don't know, it was in a weird placement, and I don't know if I'm the only one who thinks that, but there was something about it that I found rather odd. But I'm going to leave that there because that's really the only way I can describe it. Also during the reward challenge, we had Michaela, who sat out during the challenge, and she was not too happy about it, but right by her foot! Right by her foot, and she didn't even see it while she was even tying her damn shoe. She did not see that there was a secret advantage sitting on the platform where she was. But Sarah noticed, and she got it. So very slick on Sarah's part to find that secret advantage. And that secret advantage turns out to be that Sarah can steal a vote up until the final 5. That is a huge advantage to have. I mean, if you play your card, like I said before, if she plays her cards right, now that she has this advantage, she can totally flip the game around, and things can really go toward her way or toward her alliance's way. But again, she's really got to make sure that she knows what she's doing and that she doesn't play that when she doesn't need to. So during the reward challenge, Brad, who was on the reward, he basically explains that it is a smart move to not take your entire alliance on reward, which honestly I agree with. You shouldn't take your entire alliance along because it just kind of shows that you are so tight and no one else can even get into your group. It kind of just shows it off too much. So he did sacrifice in Sarah and Troyzan not going, but they did take Andrea with them. And they were definitely trying to get into her brain and see what was her beef with Zeke, because we had that whole exchange last episode, and a little bit in this episode as well. And I can't help but think that Brad, and especially Sierra, are really getting way too confident. They think that they've got this thing so locked tight that there's no way no one is going to do anything. And the thing is, and I think one of the lessons we learned in this episode, you can never be too comfortable, because when you get comfortable, things go wrong. So you always need to stay on your toes and always think that someone is out to get you. Someone is wanting to ruin your game to improve their game. So that's a big lesson we learned in today's episode. And Sierra, if she doesn't see that soon, and I think this episode probably brought that a little bit to light for her, if she doesn't find out soon, then I don't know how much game she's got left. Then we move on to the immunity challenge, which was a Survivor classic, trying to balance blocks on a wobbly table while you're pulling that wobbly table by a rope. And we thought at the beginning that it was going to be Andrea, but you know, I'm literally sitting here and I just thought of this. This challenge really reflects on the status of the game as it was in this episode. You know, you think you're so high up, you think you're going to place that final block, you think that you've got the challenge made, and then all of a sudden you make one little mistake, one little nudge on that rope, or you don't pay attention, blocks come tumbling down. And that is what kind of happened in today's episode. But I'm getting ahead of myself. So Troyzan ends up winning immunity, and when we get back to camp, our chopping block is Andrea, Michaela, and Debbie. Mostly it's Debbie who wants to instigate getting Michaela out because she really didn't like Michaela all that much, found her annoying and all those little things, da-da-da-da-da. But everyone else wanted, and at least in her lines, everyone else wanted to get rid of Andrea, which is a smart move. Andrea is a very strong player both in challenges and in strategy. And one thing from the episode, and I don't know if anybody else picked up on this, but I did, but I definitely did. It's when Debbie said, and I quote, "Everybody wants to work with us," when she's in talk with her alliance. Really? You think that everyone wants to work with us? I think you're trying to say that everyone wants to work with you. And that's the thing with Debbie. She thinks so highly of herself, and when she gets too confident, she tends to not observe what's happening around her, and she doesn't realize that Sarah is playing double agent and trying to figure out where she needs to be. What alliance would work better for her, or is she just playing by people by people? Now Sarah does have a little bit of a moment where she's really indecisive about what alliance she wants to go with, and you know, even Sierra at one point admits that, or even says to her, that she would be okay with it being Sierra, Sarah, and Debbie in the final three. And that kind of opens it up for Sarah, who thinks, maybe I'm not in the bottom of the alliance. Maybe this could work for me. But, you know, in a game like this, even though you may be close or you may be in a tight alliance, things change very fast. And having someone promise you that, it sounds tempting, but you need to think it through and think, are they really being serious about all this? So we went to tribal council, had our normal little discussion. Not much of a crazy tribal council this episode, but I did like what Michaela said when she was talking about, you know, being aware because you may be the one who is being targeted. She said it in her own Michaela-ism sort of a way, but that's basically what she said. And I think that was the thing that lit a fuse underneath Sarah, and she realized, I need to make a move, I need to do something about this power alliance, because I'm obviously on the bottom of it no matter what I do. So thanks to Sarah and her decision that she made, one of the majors of the majority alliance went home, and that ended up being Debbie. So Debbie is the latest person to be voted off Survivor Game Changers. I really don't have anything prediction-wise, because we didn't really see all that much in the previews for next episode. The only thing we really saw was that alliances are pretty much going to start falling apart at this point. We've got Sarah wanting, maybe Sarah and I forgot who else was standing next to her, but Sarah and somebody else maybe talking to Sierra and maybe wanting to bring her into a new alliance. Zeke, I think, was thinking about switching things up again. I mean, things are going to be kind of crazy and topsy-turvy, but that's kind of all we got a chance to see. Nothing else really was shown in the preview, so that's all I can really say about that. I mean, things are going to be shaken up, especially since now Sarah's probably going to be thrown under a little bit for her making the move that she did, but I think everything's going to change after this episode with the alliances, so we can only wait and see what's going to happen. And also, because of the new swap, I'm not too sure about who could possibly be going home next. I think Andrea is still kind of high on the chopping block, and I still think that Andrea is still going after Zeke after what happened last episode. But again, anything can happen, and I'm not 100% sure. I guess I could also put Sierra up there, because if she stays too confident, she could be going home, but she's gone through some pretty tough tribal councils where her name was on the line, so I am not 100% sure at this point. So I think that's everything covered. You know, not that much happened in this episode. It hasn't been as crazy as the other tribal councils, but we did have a blindside in Debbie and another shakeup with alliances, so only future will tell as to what's going to happen next. So on that note, I'm going to end the video here. If you like it, please give it a thumbs up, leave me comments down below, tell me what you thought of this week's episode, and if you want to see my future videos or videos I've already done, go ahead and hit subscribe and hit the little bell icon so you can be notified when my videos come out. That's all I have for you guys today. Until the next video, bye! Mwah.